thought you ate that and didn't.
Yeah, shorty bad, she real bad, yeah, make up real mad, yeah, I make up real mad.
Come get that ass beat right now. You want that from her, huh? You need that, you gotta have that, you gotta get that. Get it. Lights, camera, action.
What's good, Baddies fam? It's your girl BB, and if you ain't know, now you know. We done left all that Baddies Gone Wild mess in the past. Over here, we get right into it. These queens don't play. They stay stepping on necks with the confessionals and the looks on the show. For this week's video on Confessional TV, I'm going to be reviewing the episode and also giving my thoughts on the confessional looks as usual. So this will be a full Baddies Africa episode review. We're going to get right into it. Y'all grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfortable because we're going to get into the confessional looks, some of the fights, and just my overall thoughts on this week's episode. I'm also going to speak on episode 16 because I'm not going to do a full episode review of episode 16, but they did finish up with the confessional looks, so I will be incorporating stuff from episode 16, and then after that will be a separate video, which is the episode 17 review. Let's get right into it. So this week episode kicks off with the baddies Summer popping it at Cold K, and although y'all know I already said Cold K whooped Summer, I still think Summer didn't get beat up too bad. It's just that fall wasn't a good look for you to be the one running up. She took her wig off. She didn't even have it on for more than 20 minutes, and of course Natalie yelling, "Oh my gosh, Baddie shot a clock." Like she has zero control of the situation per usual. Then Summer and Cold K run it again and they going at it. Security really grabbed them before they could really get good hits in, and I peeped Marissa looking at Summer like she didn't like her, but she knew not to say anything because if she wanted to keep that wig on and that face looking cute, she would keep her mouth closed. Of course, she hops into her confessional to express how Cold K whooped Summer and tore her out the frame. Dolly get into her confessional to tell us for the 10th time that she can't wait for her hand to heal so she can have her wang dang doodle. Like, okay, Dolly, we know you waiting on this wang dang doodle. You only good for one round, so calm down and just focus on healing. Then Natalie calls out Elsie to ask her does she feel any type of way about how they call her out earlier, and Elsie says to be honest she doesn't care and whoever doesn't like her can kiss ass and she gonna be authentically her. And I'm like, okay Elsie, you feeling real bold today. Then here come the delusional bully, you know, the captain bully, Rolly, basically asking her who that was for, and Elsie replies it's for anyone who doesn't like her. And Rolly like, so is it a specific person you talking to? And Elsie's basically like, Rolly, you could kiss my ass if you want to. And Rolly tells Elsie to come front and center. Then Rolly gonna tell Elsie to turn around, and I'm like, where is this going? And as Elsie's explaining, Rolly just smacks her, and Rolly cocked back so hard. I just feel like Rolly was really dragging this situation. Like that was just really weird. Like we know that Elsie don't know how to fight, so you bullying her like this was just really unnecessary. At this point, Rolly, we know she's a bully and she usually goes for the weak ones. Then here go Nat again. Does anybody have anything they need to get off their chest before we go to the club in Kenya? Like, why do you keep asking this question if you want the night to go according to schedule? You bringing up more drama is going to cause the arguing and fighting to drag out. Big Legs basically breaks her silence and says, so Scotty, do you have an issue with me? And of course they go back and forth, and Big Legs starts repeating Scotty's name, and after Scotty told her not to bring her name up anymore in any issue. But to be honest, Scotty, Big Legs didn't bring your name up. It was DTB. Then Big Legs reiterates, okay, well, I don't like you, so what are you going to do about it? So in this situation, in this moment, she didn't really put emphasis on the fact that DTB was the one to bring her name up. I mean, she kind of said it about them jumping Summer, but I don't know. She said something about them jumping Summer in the Caribbean, and she only said that because DTB said something. So you bringing up that point, Scotty, is invalid because DTB was the one who brought your name up, not Lex. And Scotty's response is like, you don't like me, you don't like me. And then Big Lex asks Scotty to come here, and Scotty's like, I'm not coming to you, and I'm just irritated because why are y'all doing this right now? Big Lex, you lost me with this one because it it looked like Scotty was low-key keeping up with you, and this little squabble, I don't know, babes, it wasn't really given, but at the same time, they did keep showing everybody else reaction while y'all was fighting instead of y'all fight. You know, you admitted that you didn't really go hard on Scotty, but at the same time, Scotty don't seem like she did that much damage to you either, so we just not gonna count this fight. I hate when they do that. Every time Scotty get to fighting, the camera angle changed. Meanwhile, we see everybody else fighting from start to finish. Then here come TAVI saying, like, I think TAVI said something about why she fighting Scotty for no reason, but I'm just over here thinking to myself, the same way you stole off on Elsie for no reason and didn't say anything to Rolly for doing what she did. And then TAVI started talking about the toes, and she was losing me about the toes and the toes story. I guess she was trying to say that Lex was obsessed with the toes and was giving her toe compliments, and she didn't like that, so she changed the colors to basically show Lex she don't like compliments from her. That was just childish. Like, what were we supposed to do with this information? However, Lex was doing foot videos, so there's that. Then here come DTB with another thing. So she pretends that she's asking TAVI a question, but low-key addressing Choco, and had something with some people, but she was sick, so I was just trying to figure out who was the people. And I'm like, the way she worded this question made it seem like she wasn't even addressing Choco with the question, but she was trying to figure out who Choco was basically talking about. She was beefing with some people, and Choco's like, you, yeah, because you sneaked me. And DTV's like, okay, but you're sick right now. And Choco's like, you want to go right now? And DTV hand motions like, nah, but Choco not backing down, and she gets up and square up talking about, come on, let's rumble. Every time Choco gets to struggling in a fight, I get so mad. She was not playing. So now as they walking, I didn't really consider this a fight, but Choco did mature into the bush, and she was not playing. So now as they walk, and Summer get to popping it, and K Rican gets triggered and hops in her confessional to say that Summer want to keep running her mouth, and that she felt away after she fought Cold K. She had to call her out. Summer get to chanting, what you want to throw, what you want to throw, what you want to throw. Y'all know Summer stay instigating, and she ain't never backing down. And when I tell you K Rican looked so hopeless, I don't know what was going on with her, but Summer gave her that work, and I swear they keep fighting for nothing. And K Rican, you is just not keeping up with sis. You're not keeping up with Summer, and I'm just really concerned why you keep trying to, I don't know, fight Summer like you gonna win. I don't know. Maybe you'll catch her on a bad day, but you ain't defeated Summer yet. Summer gets a popping it and gets in her confessional to admit that she whooped K Rican, so K Rican squares up again. Summer gets to whooping her again, and I'm trying to figure out who is this guy with the do-rag and the brown shirt just standing there blocking the view of the fight. Like, really, nigga? Summer got that, and you know she gonna rub it in for sure. But after that second round, Summer did have a little knot. I don't know if K Rican had rings on or what, but you could definitely see it. And I'm so torn between this, because in one moment I feel like Summer needs to stop constantly popping it, because sometimes the big three just need a break, but K Rican let it be known that she wanted that, so she definitely had to defend herself. I don't blame Summer for defending herself. We just hear Summer in the background popping it, so they pan over to Big Lex and TAVI, and TAVI trying to stare Big Lex down like she needed that. So Big Lex, you know, she not scared of nobody. They getting to throwing hands, and I'm already knowing who finna lose. Lex getting to swinging that arm, then they fail, and you know, here comes security rushing, trying to even the odds and start grabbing Lex limbs. Meanwhile, TAVI getting some extra hits in, pulling Lex hair, and she tried to stomp on her but missed, and then they run it again. TAVI got the nerve to be talking about Lex liking her but grabbing all on Lex while they fighting. She was squeezing them cheeks and pulling her pants down. Like, you talking about Big Lex, but you was definitely trying to get a taste of Big Lex. TAVI had the nerve to hop into her confessional to say she slammed Lex to the ground. Is the slam in the room with us? I saw no evidence of this, but it was evident that she got the best of that. But you called this fade out, TAVI. You asked for this, so why? I don't know, but you set yourself up. And now your eye bleeding again. Y'all supposed to be going to the club in like 5 minutes, and y'all don't rip the wigs off, bleeding, low key. Lex do got a little scratchy scratch, but you know, not nothing too noticeable. I don't think anybody saw this fight coming. Round after round after round with TAVI, Lex whooped you like she whooped you. Lex was having so much fun beating you up that you tried to take a bite out of her too, and she had you on your knees. And it's crazy how you talking about Lex, but you tried to get another taste of her. Now your eye bleeding, and the same spot. You trying to save face talking about it's the same eyebrow, okay, and what's that supposed to mean? She still made you bleed. Then Nat hops into her confessional to say this all started over a game, and now the baddies are fighting left and right. And you know, I guess Natalie felt like recess was over, so she's trying to clear the field so y'all can get ready for the booking. And Natalie trying to stress it's Saturday night, so you know she don't want to waste the Saturday, because it could possibly be their only Saturday in Kenya probably. So here I am thinking the next scene gonna be them stepping out, or at least getting ready for the club, but no, it's TAVI. Now, Zeus, why y'all gotta show her still yelling? Y'all showing her still yelling all belligerently. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I really want to skip over this part, but it was just too delusional for me not to. So, TAVI, did you not call the fade out with Lex for you to be saying, are you happy now? Or am I tripping? And Natalie talking about, we're done, go to your room. And Natalie, you still ain't got a grip on these girls because it should only take you one time for them to listen to your commands. Like, you shouldn't even have to, like, strain your voice. Then you know Summer gotta pop it, talking about still pretty, show me your baddest baddie on my mama, while TAVI trying to get her life back on track, cleaning that eye. Then Lex swinging TAVI wig around, accidentally dropped it in the bonfire. And I ain't gonna lie, that would have me hot. But yeah, the big three continues to pop it. And you know, Lex tried to say it was an accident, but you still being reckless with her wig. Like, you still gotta be responsible for that, even if you didn't mean it. DTV and TAVI walking back to their rooms, and DTV slick trying to give TAVI a pep talk. She know TAVI ain't do her big one on Lex. So as DTV talking, she gets to pouring the water all over her face, talking about, I'm drunk. Like, TAVI, we know that liquor courage had you biting off more than you can chew. Don't try to get hype again though. Like, chill, because Lex is not too far away. DTV talking about, you did way better, 100%, and she still has the advantage because you were still hurt from previous fights. Whose fault is it that TAVI still hurt from the previous fight? TAVI. DTV, the only reason why TAVI is even leaking right now though is because, again, she's the one who called out the fade with Lex. She could have just sat there and ate her food, sipped her little mimosa, but I don't want to see TAVI keep getting beat up, but she is the one who is asking for the fight. So whatever happens, happens. And she still got on the same cat suit that she got beat up in the first time. Like, girl, what the helly? Then DTV over here explaining how the cuts got reopened. And I'm like, girl, that's low-key shade. Because the way you was saying it, TAVI low-key looked like she wanted to pop off on you. But she had to snap back out of it because she know, like, you on her side right now. But y'all know how TAVI get when she get to drinking. Even if you saying something nice to her, she start to tweak and talking real reckless and impulsive. Calm down, but she ain't do that to DTV. TAVI talking about it's light to her and she don't feel nothing. And then DTV hops into her confessional to say that she's trying to talk to TAVI because her and TAVI kind of built a bond. And I'm like, okay, well, you're only saying that because you know your girl's finna leave, your other crew member finna leave, the other part to your trio finna leave, and you finna be by yourself. So you trying to get real close to TAVI, and you should have just used that same bond that you talking about right now to stop TAVI from initiating this fight. Because if you knew what she was gonna do, you had to know she was gonna get beat up again. Like, it's big Lex. I don't know how many times she gotta fight for y'all to realize it's not just luck. Like, Lex is really a heavy hitter. DTV talking about she got TAVI back and that she did her big one and did better, and that was the best fight that TAVI had with Lex. No tea, no shade. Okay. And I'm just over here like DTV low-key gassing, and TAVI get to popping it. You ain't gonna play with me. Leave me alone. Talk about my toes. I promise you she want to talk about my toes. That's why I made my toes. Like, she just keep talking about the toes. Like, it's not that deep. Like, Lex was trying to be nice, and now you trying to make it a thing that she was complimenting your toes. She keeps saying incomplete thoughts about the toes, and she just losing me on whatever she trying to say about it. Like, are you saying that she got a toe fetish and she like your toes? Like, just get it out. What you trying to say? Because you zoning me out with this toe narrative. Like, okay, like, we get it. Then TAVI talking about, I'm willing to get down with any. Now, in this moment, Lex claims that she was just raging because she didn't have no respect for TAVI right now because TAVI thought she ate that. DTB steady trying to butter TAVI up about this fight with Lex. And I'm just like, all right, DTB, lay low. Dang, we get it. Like, we get it. Then I guess security allowed Big Lex to walk back to her room, and she literally hears TAVI popping it about their fight. And Big Lex is like, shut up, you got beat up. And Big Lex ready for another round at this point because she hear you still popping it, and she like dropped the bottle. Now, TAVI, you called this fade out again and thought you was finna just pop it after, and now that Big Lex is in front of you again, your energy low-key switched up. You not as hype. And TAVI, if you think you won that, I commend you for that level of delusion, but I might have to make you the captain of the delusion train this week because you stay starting stuff and you starting to lose your breath and talking about pass me my asthma pump. You shouldn't be doing all this if you got asthma. And here go Natalie popping out a lawn chair. Like, sis, now is not the time. She talking about she want to play baddie shot o'clock again. I thought you was trying to get them to stop arguing. So she pops the cards out again and says, have you ever got into a physical fight with your ops over a friend or someone that was your friend? And Dolly, the first one to say, not yet, and tells Natalie to keep the card in her titty. And I'm like, sis, hush, because you said you only offering thumb wars this episode. Big Lex is just like, all they do is pull hair. Tavi gets to whispering in Diamond ear, and they like, what you doing? What you thinking about? And Tavi's like, I'm thinking about going to the club, trying to prove a point that ain't nobody gonna stop her from making an appearance for the booking. And you know, I don't blame her because you're not gonna get this moment back again. And Tavi, you did call this one out, so just keep that in mind every time you keep getting mad and have an outburst about how your eye is bleeding. But Big Lex steady calling Tavi out again. Tavi like, nah, stop playing with me. I'll see you tomorrow, yelling at the top of her lungs like, girl. But Big Lex hops into her confessional to talk about all the excuses Tavi's scrambling and scraping for, and the grass is wet and she got asthma. But Big Lex is like, you know, that's true for her too. She can't breathe either. So Big Lex tries to jump and run up, and now Tavi talking about Lex boosting. She boosted so bad and she couldn't fight with her no more. Ending it with, you mad because you really like me? Like, no, Tavi, she mad because she wasn't even addressing you, even though you were one of the names that she named when asked about her least favorite baddie. Y'all did just get in a fight. She wasn't addressing you directly. She named like 5 people, and you and Scotty were the only ones who had something to say about her not liking Scotty. So you all on that side, like the other 3 really like you, and you really need to keep your head on the swivel because they really don't. They still locked in, so remember that they still locked in and you're considered the outsider, so don't lose sight of that. But Big Lex is still living and said Tavi took her out of her element. And here go Natalie. I just want these girls to get ready, put their wigs on, put their makeup on, put their outfits on so we can go out. And okay, Natalie, that's fine, but you the same one who just wanted to play baddie shot o'clock. But you know, they continue to go back and forth, and we find out that Tavi has a room on the same floor as the big 3. It just clarifies why they keep bumping into each other when they supposed to be going to their room. And I agree with DTB saying that this is not a good idea for Tavi to be staying on the same floor as them, because it's just going to cause issues and going to make this Kenyan trip not that peaceful. Like, you know, the big 3, they go hard for each other, so you don't know what's going to happen with them. Like, for the most part, they respect each other when the door is closed, but you just never know. Yeah, Tavi do need to relocate if they want the Kenyan stay to be peaceful. It's just not going to work with the big 3 beefing with Tavi, and she the only odd baddie out on the floor. And that's definitely going to make her a target. But Natalie literally like, stop, Lex, stop. But Lex runs off and starts to jump, and she act like she was about to jump over security. And I'm like, Lex, Pookie, like, don't ever let nobody see you this pressed, because it's not that serious. You trying to get to Tavi, and you know you already beat her up, but she is still popping it. Calm down. Like, you looking real pressed. You're going to get another chance to run a phase. So I don't even know why you still doing that. But Natalie pretending like she don't like this type of activity when just earlier,
this is kind of fun.
Big Flex feels like she don't get taken out of character often, and she know where Tavi lay. See, that's exactly what I'm saying, because they don't need to be on the same floor. So they finally get to the room, and it looks like they on the balcony. So they popping it from one of the balconies, and Tavi getting roasted by the big 3. And I'm like, what in the world if they don't get to their room and get ready, because I'm really finna fast forward. See, the one thing about BGC, they wasn't gonna make the whole episode about the girls popping it. If there was gonna be a fight, it was gonna be a fight. They was gonna pop it after, then they was gonna go to bed, or they was gonna eat, or they was gonna take the Jeep to go to one of their own career style bookings, or they was gonna have somebody come over, then they was gonna fight later. But sometimes it just feels like Zeus don't know how to make the show carry on after the fight. Like, the whole episode don't have to be about the fight and like the material to go with it, like the talk about the fight. Like, we don't need that. We already get enough of that online when they get the yapping and spoiling the show for us. So we don't need another like take for take on what happened and how they feel about it. Tavi now getting ready in her room, and she hops into the confessi to say she needs a medic in her room after that fight. And I bet you do, because your face was getting swole by the minute. She gets to stripping down to her underwear to show us that, you know, it's dry, and she's saying that her eyebrows split and it's about to be her birthday in a few days. And Natalie starts twerking, trying to encourage her to get ready, like she's sad or something. But I'm like, Natalie, she's really trying to convince us that she's not fazed by what happened, but her face is reacting by the moment. But Tavi, what we supposed to do with this information about it being your birthday in a few days? Like, why you telling us this and your eyebrows the one that got to be split on your birthday? because you didn't sit and eat your food and now you got to spend your birthday in Kenya with a split eye. But hurry up and get ready because you got 5 minutes too, and she getting in her the confessional to say it's time for her to really chill. And I'm like, no, really, you think? Now Big Lex trying to find her wig and Nat passes it to her. And then Big Lex tells Nat that she's about to put her wig on with no makeup, no nothing. And Natalie in her face talking like, yeah, because your face card, it just never declines. But in her confessional saying that Big Lex needs to calm down. Like, Natalie, do you need that now? Like, what's with you being fake? Then Big Lex comes back to the window to give TAVI the bird one last time before she get ready. Natalie was really trying to pop it too after Big Lex went in her room, because why she say why she worried about a wig, she used to put a hat on. Now Natalie, why you ain't said that to her face? Then we have Russian in the next scene popping it with K Rican and Fauna. And why Russian sound like she throwing up while Fauna was trying to address her? Like, I guess she was trying to be funny and it was kind of funny, but she was like doing too much, trying too hard. And I don't really want to cover this part because I just feel like this was a filler scene as well. They could have showed us this but cut more parts out, because they were just arguing about Russian leaving and Fauna was trying to question her about it, and I felt like that was pointless because you know y'all not that cool like that. So what's the point of the discussion? Are y'all gonna squash y'all beef or no? You're sitting here telling me why you fought me, and okay, cool, I don't need to know why you fought me. We don't like each other, let me go my separate way. But her and K Rican definitely have smoke with Russian, and I'm pretty sure K Rican waiting on Russian to heal up so they can really run this fade that she dreams of winning. But I'm not understanding how every time they fight, Russian low-key beats K Rican up and she only got one hand. Like, huh? That just goes to show like K Rican really cannot fight, because she cannot even beat Summer. She can't beat Russian, and Russian got one hand. I'm pretty sure she can't beat Dolly. So yeah, K Rican, you need to get it together. You need to be doing push-ups with Elsie. But I'm gonna skip over this part because K Rican basically came out and she tried to fight her, threw something at her and missed, and Russian said bye Shark Boy. And K Rican, she do be looking crazy, but she do not look like no Shark Boy. Where is Shark Boy coming from? So in the next scene we get the montages of the girls getting ready, and we find out from Fauna that the girls, K Rican and Cole K, not going out tonight. So instead of the pretty three, it's gonna be the pretty one. And I don't know why, but Fauna said she's still gonna hold it down and turn up for the pretty three. So let's get into her confessional look, since she want to be the first to premiere hers this episode. I think she's the first one, I'm not sure. So I feel like she just had something similar onto this. I can't really put my finger on it, but the purse is sending me. She better be keeping that purse close. Fauna is such a pretty girl. I love how she styled this wig. The makeup is cute and classy as always. I know y'all see the pearls, and then she rocking her Baddies chain. She said, I'm wearing it in my confessional. It looks like one of her other confessional looks, so she might not be up that high on the Baddie confessional pyramid, because I feel like I've seen this look from her, but her hair is cute and you know, she still looks really pretty. They show Rolly getting her makeup done, TAVI getting hers done and looks as swole as ever. I know she's seeing it as she getting ready, that's why her face look like that. Elsie doing her own makeup, Scotty getting her hair done, Dolly putting on finishing touches of her hair and makeup, and hops in her confessional to say that she's ready to party. And of course it's a new confessional. It looks like one of the wigs from like 2 confessionals ago. This time she's wearing it up and I think it's really cute. I'm gonna insert a video of her whole look. I'll try to do this if I can find videos of the other girls posting theirs for the episode. Y'all know I did this with Big Lex. I also did that with TAVI. At first I thought her necklace said Erica, but it says Africa, and I love the braided outfit. This is so creative and artsy, and I did not realize that that was braiding hair. I just thought it was a braid at first, but it's actually braided hair, and I feel like she could have been covered up a bit more, but it's still really sexy and different, and she definitely served in this confessional this week, this season, to be honest. I can't wait to see the rest. Then they showed DTB, Marissa Danae, and Big Lex, and I want to know who Marissa Danae was smiling at. I guess Russian Cream's still going despite her injury as well, and she hops into her confessional to tell us that she's getting ready for her first booking in Kenya and she feels like a baddie. And Russian Bookie Babe, I'm tired of this wig, but I do feel like the side part is cuter and complements your face more with this pink ombre effect than that middle part, and I can kind of tolerate the eyeshadow. You know, I didn't like it last episode, but I like the necklace and the white corset, very fun. I'm hoping we get a blue type of confessional from Russian, because I feel like that would look so beautiful with her tattoo, and that blush, it really could go. Like, she really does not need this blush. I don't feel like it's on the right part of her face, or at least the color of the blush. It's just something about the blush that's throwing me off. And her outfit for the club was so plain. She looked like she trying to stay ready for a fight. They finally make it to the Sprinter vans, and of course they doing their usual twerking before they load up. DTB looking like a cowgirl with that outfit. It wasn't giving Africa, but it was still cute. It was still giving what it needed to give. So she hops into her confessional with her new look, and I'm not really loving it. DTB, I like your look more so on the show, but DTB is a pretty girl, but I feel like this look is similar to the previous look, but she just decided to cover her head, and her makeup is flawless and her lips look so good, but she didn't really change her look up this week, but she do look good in gold. I don't know if this is Lex's first time hopping in her confessional, but she premiered her new confessional look this week looking like a schoolgirl for real. She looks like she's still in high school with this look, but she also reminds me of the little girl from Matilda with them glasses. For me to not like the bangs, I actually do think this is kind of cute. The bangs are just continuing to piss me off. I feel like Lex is trying to haunt us with these bangs. It's just so pointless and hides half of your forehead. Half of your forehead got a full bang and the other one is like getting thinner. I don't like that. But I do like the red lipstick with the black hair and the navy blue outfit. I feel like it's simple but still enough to look like a new look. But she's ready to have fun and turn up and see what the vibes are like in Kenya. So Elsie starts off the convo in the Sprinter to say that Big Lex did her big one on TAVI, and Lex hops into her confessional to tell us she's over it and ready to go to the club. That's translation for she didn't really want to talk about it no more. She was tired of talking about it at this point. And then Russian calls Elsie out to ask her why she called Rolly out. I don't really feel like she called Rolly out, but when Rolly basically asked her who her comments were for, and instead of Elsie saying they're for anyone who had a problem, she went wrong by directly responding with, well, Rolly, you can kiss my ass too if you don't like me. And that's what, you know, caused Rolly to call Elsie out, because Rolly felt triggered by Elsie's response because it's kind of direct. But Rolly did ask her the question, and Natalie even popped the conversation off to begin with. So Elsie didn't really call the fade out with Rolly. But Elsie, babe, come here. Can you stop holding your opponent? Because I have yet to believe that you know what a fight is when it's time to defend yourself. Like, I don't know if you know how to do that. And y'all know how much I've expressed I hate this for you, because it really seems like at first glance when you look at Elsie that she could hold her own, but she stayed getting punked from the slap with Coach K to the punch with TAVI and now the slap and mush from Rolly, and you have yet to protect yourself. And I know you over here advocating for who you are as a person on the bus, but this is Baddies. You know the reality of the situation, and it is what it is. So you need to be about that action too, not just being firm on who you are, because even when you say that, I still don't get what principle you're trying to stand on or what you're trying to get them to know about you. You need to be able to stand on business and defend yourself, because I don't like you getting pumped. But skipping over to the other bus, we have Fauna. So Fauna's like, well, despite all the fighting we did tonight, Baddies, y'all face cards are still eating. And everybody's like, yes, sure is. They do look good, and I see Fauna popping out with no makeup on, and she still look good. They're still serving face, but the only girls popping out to the club tonight are Scotty, Fauna, DTB, TAVI on one Sprinter. DTB low-key says she keeping her head on the swivel because she know she's by herself. Then in the other Sprinter is Big Lex, Russian, Dolly, and Elsie. I don't know if I didn't say that before, but that's who's on the bus, and Summer's supposed to be meeting them at the club. And some of the other girls, you know, they just didn't pop out tonight. So TAVI hops into her confessional to say that the other girls are just mad because Scotty is prettier than her. But let's stop being delusional once again, like Big Lex face card doesn't eat. Like, everybody is pretty in their own way. But TAVI, stay out of it, because this is how you got your eyebrows split the first time. Oh, and here go DTB bringing it up again. You got in the field too. So TAVI responds, and she basically starts to explain what she think the issue with Big Lex is. And she says every time Big Lex walks past her, she be blowing kisses at her and she feels some type of way. Okay, TAVI, here you go with the Big Lex being obsessed over you, but you keep bringing it up. Then in the other Sprinter, Russian get to explain her little run-in with K Rican outside when she was moving out her room, and she sounded so annoying telling her story once again, like, girl. Then on the other bus, Fauna talking about Russian had to go because if she want to pop it and not get in the field that she got to go. But Fauna, she was literally already leaving. So the girls finally pull up to Black Samurai Lounge in Kenya, and Natalie is the first to pop out. She hops into her confessional with the new look, and it appears to be the same wig from the previous confessional. The boneless bob that I was telling y'all about, yeah, that that one. So she's wearing that restyle, and it does look better styled like this. I feel like it complements her features better. Her top she got on reminds me of a look she did on Baddies Gone Wild. I like her earrings, but I'm tired of these dollar store beauty supply gold necklaces. When they got to the nightclub, Natalie's impressed, talking about, okay, Kenya looked like it's a vibe. Everybody was lit and turning up. I know the music was off the chain. I wish I had the time to talk about all the Baddies club looks, but we got to get through these episodes. And we're already about 30 minutes in. I remember while filming, people was talking about how dry the clubs were for the Baddies, but it doesn't look that dry to me. Kenya showed up and showed out. They look like they love the Baddies. Now the Baddies are vibing in the club, and the episode is almost about to come to an end. They're turning up. TAVI and this band-aid is super noticeable. She could have at least put some makeup over it. Then next DTB starts performing her song a cappella. The crowd starts to get hyped, and then all the baddies start joining in rapping the song. Even the big three was rapping the lyrics. Somehow Big Lex got the mic, and while they were rapping the "Oh, you baddies think you tough," Fauna turns her body towards the big three to say it, and as she's saying it, she makes eye contact with Big Lex, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. That's how it starts. And from there, it was a wrap because the energy was already in the air. From the audience to the security song and the baddies, security, get ready. Dolly squaring up, knowing she don't want to fight. She need to move to the back. And I thought she was only offering thumb wars this episode. What is she doing? The way Fauna got in her confessional to make it seem like Big Lex called her out when literally she turned her body to look at them was like, while she was rapping, it shows that she didn't really have a good memory because y'all were all popping it, not just the big three. You ain't got the squad with you, so you have to stand your ground right now. You definitely turned towards the big three when you did that too, so don't make it seem like they just was rapping the song to you. You was rapping it to them as well. But you kind of escalated this situation because you did throw the fan, and then Summer shows up at the worst time, and then the episode ends. We get the preview of episode 16. So now we're gonna get into episode 16 a little bit because they premiere the rest of the confessionals. So they tried to fight, but security broke it up faster than they could start. I know the security be the most tired out of everybody because don't nobody work harder than them. But Fauna pulled a Dolly on Big Lex and snatched the mic from Big Lex. So now Big Lex and Fauna are arguing in the club and dissing each other. And to distract the tension, Natalie calls another baddie shot o'clock, and the scene pans to a Sprinter van. And I'm over here thinking, dang, they about to leave already. But it's actually Summer finally showing up to the booking, and Fauna in her confessional hating on Summer's arrival. Of course, Natalie says she gonna let Summer being late pass because it's been a lot going on. But Natalie, it's girls that didn't even show up to the booking, so I don't even know why you feel some type of way about Summer being late. So Natalie starts performing her song, and Fauna and Lex get to popping it again. All Fauna doing is rapping everybody lyrics aggressively while looking at Lex, and it's definitely getting to Big Lex. And Summer just got there, so she don't know what's going on, but she see Fauna throw something, and she thought it was a drink, so she throws her drink, and Natalie looks pissed, but Summer was just responding to what Fauna did. So now if you gonna get mad at both. They both throwing stuff. If you really wanted them to stop fighting though, you would have separated them, not go on to the next fight song. Summer hops in the confessional with the new one, and I thought her look this week was so glamorous. I like the embellished jewels, but I feel like the sheerness could have matched her skin just a little bit more. I appreciate her doing something new though. I love this bob she got going on. Stiff wear, ho. That bob was moving. It looks so good on her, and the makeup with this look wasn't over the top, and it's definitely complimenting her face so well this week. Like, I really love this confessional from Summer. Okay, Summer, I see you. So Big Lex hops on the mic to say, welcome to Baddies. Big Lex whooping everybody towards Fauna, and she was so serious. Natalie again says no, but was the one who let Lex pop it on the mic, like, girl, please. Now it's the next day, and the girls are back at the resort. I hate these little talk scenes after the fight. If they didn't go online popping it all the time, these scenes would feel really exclusive and needed. Because the baddies are constantly popping it, these scenes seem a bit staged and like redundant because we already know how they feel about the fights. DTB talking about that it takes a lot of heart and courage to go up against one of the heaviest hitters in the house. Rolly talking about Lex gets mad for Scotty speaking up. Scotty has the right to speak up and share her opinion, and I'm just thinking to myself, is that not Big Lex right too, to speak up for herself and share her opinion? This is not her first season either, so Big Lex should have the right to speak up about her feelings too. And I am so tired of Elsie talking about she got in the field like she did something. Like, Elsie, have you done any push-ups since last night? Have you done any shadow boxing? You never know who's going to sneak you next because you're never ready. So Ivory talks about leaving Africa and going back home. It doesn't seem like she plans to return, but I love Ivory's wig in this scene. She appears to be the only baddie who didn't get a new confessional this episode, and y'all know what that means. That means that she's about to head out. This is going to be her last confessional. So back in the other scene, we had the big three and friends on the other patio catching up about last night's events. And why was Elsie looking at Dolly like that when she said she was about to get ready to ride that white horse? Is you okay, Elsie? You like really studying Dolly right now. So finally, we're getting to see the girls do a different activity besides clubbing. And look at Cole K and K Rican. They look cute. And DTB talking to Cole K. I thought they wasn't cool, but let's see how this ends up because you know the baddie's crazy. And then on the other sprinter, we have the girls loading up and Dolly doing her countryman voice like, is y'all ready to ride these horses? Rolly acting like she's scared to ride the horse. I really like Dolly's horseback riding outfit. She looks really cute out of everybody on this bus, and Big Lex says she keeping her head on a swivel because of what happened with Fauna last night. Then Rolly breaks the silence between her and Elsie and says, you know, she said what she said and she admires Elsie's confidence. And I'm like, Rolly, you only saying that because she's sitting here right in your face. If you had rolled the sprinter with the other girls, she would have still been popping it like you didn't like Elsie. So it just is weird how she was trying to give Elsie her props, declare her respect for Elsie, and y'all being fake right now. But Elsie hops in her confessional to say that her intentions wasn't for Rolly per se. And while we're on her confessional, I love this look that Elsie's sporting today. It looks very tribal and elegant, but I love her get up this week. The feathers are gorgeous. Elsie's still popping it about standing on who she is, and Rolly ends it with, well, I said what I said too, because at this point, Elsie, you low-key seem like you still popping it while Rolly tried to call it a truce. Next, we have K Rika hopping in her confessional to say how she don't like that Natalie was going live with Summer to pop it about them, and that made her feel some type of way. But while we're on the topic, I like K Rika's confessional. She looks so cute and studious this week. It's giving schoolgirl, but rich bougie schoolgirl. She low-key was serving a little bit of Glorilla too, if you ask me. I like how posh K Rika looks in her confessional, and this is definitely something I would wear. So before the girls arrive to the event, Scotty and Natalie do a scene where they catch up on each other's thoughts on the previous night. And they trying to act like they ain't talked to each other 5 minutes ago about the situation. But Natalie, you should not have went live with Summer. You knew that that was going to cause drama and have the girls talking for the next few days. You not slick. You knew what you was doing going live. But the girls finally arrive, and Rolly hops into the confessional to say that she's scared to ride the horse, but she don't want nothing to go wrong. Rolly, just say you think you might be too big for the horse and stop beating around the bush. And I'm disappointed in your confessional this week because all you did was change your top and call it a day. But as the girls gather around, Ivory calls out the fade with Dolly because she about to leave, and Ivory, don't be trying to rush the fade because you decided you want to leave early. Cole K gets a pop in it, and Dolly gets deflecting talking about y'all the ones scared of Ivory. Like, girl, you saying that to say what? They still gonna be cool after y'all fight. That was a weak attempt in my opinion at trying to stir some drama between Ivory and the Pretty Three. Like, that was a poor attempt. Dolly, Ivory has her appetite set on you and you only. And why Rolly standing like that? But I don't think the Pretty Three is necessarily scared of Ivory. They do have a bond and actually friends. So don't be mad because they not beefing. You already know you got a solid team behind you. But you better go on and let that hand heal, Dolly, because you know once it's time for you to fight, you only gonna have one round. So don't be prolonging your healing process by letting somebody convince you that you need to fight, because you really don't. Then Ivory and DTB trying to tell the horse to kick Dolly while Dolly popping it. But Lex, Summer, Natalie, Scotty, and Dolly actually got to ride the horse first, and it was a safe experience. Y'all know the baddie's impulsive, and if them horses got to feeling the vibes and got to kicking, somebody really could have seriously got hurt. DTB expresses how mad she is that Ivory is leaving, but Ivory tells DTB, don't be scared, it's 7 of y'all, and TAVI actually expresses how sad she is for Ivory leaving too. She's one of the only ones who had her back, and you know, that's funny coming from her considering they beefing now. And on to her confessional, because I forgot to talk about it. I love her dress that she's rocking in her confessional. It definitely goes along with the Africa theme, but I feel like she could have done more with her makeup and hair. It kind of fell short for a confessional look. Like if she was just wearing this regular, it would have been okay. But for a confessional look, I feel like she didn't put much thought into coordinating the dress with her hair and makeup. And she had a wig on a few episodes that actually could have matched with the dress she has on in this confessional. And she just wearing this cheap looking two-tone wig and it's pissing me off. Everybody mad that Ivory leaving though. Even Kay Rican gets in her confessional talking about her departure and that she already know that when Ivory leave, Dolly hand gonna magically be healed and she gonna be ready to fight. Then Marissa gets in her confessional to say that Scotty was riding the horse and she was messing with it. And I love this red and black hair on Marissa. I don't really think I got to see what she was wearing. I ain't never seen a bad wig on her since she been on Baddies, so this wig is really cute. And the way Marissa walked up to Scotty to pet the horse like she was a princess was really strange to me. Like, Marissa just so awkward sometimes. Now y'all know Cold K get in the confessional to talk about the horse, and I forgot to talk about Cold K confessional too. She looks cute. I'm in love with her top. Definitely something I would want to wear. Very feminine and bougie. I love the accessories and makeup, but I'm tired of this hair. Even though it landed her at the top of the pyramid at one point, this is the third confessional that she wore with the same wig, and I'm ready for a new one. Like Rolly, her outfit is bomb. The girls rush in to hug Ivory because she's about to leave from the horse riding event, and they basically cue her montage before she departs. I guess she ended up leaving in the middle of the activity, and the girls get fake emotional. So in the next scene, Elsie, Choco, and Russian still talking about the beef with Rolly, and I'm so tired of this storyline. Like, okay, Elsie, we get it. We get it. You are standing on who you are and you got in the field. I just hope you doing push-ups and shadow boxing in between scenes because everybody keep punking you. So you keep standing on who you are. What if who you are is a punk? So you standing on being a punk? I don't know. Choco says she done fighting Diamond and everybody on that side is fake. And Elsie gonna say Choco is the different version of her and that she's the sweeter, more sensitive side of her. And I'm just like, hold on, wait a minute. You not just gonna speed past that like you didn't say what you just said. You and Choco are nothing alike. She knows how to throw her punches and seems more reserved and present than you. Like she can read the room, but she not just gonna let nobody punk her like you be letting people punk you. If anything, you are the calmer, sensitive version of her because Choco don't be wallowing as much as you. Like, you actually talk too much at the wrong time and you never read the room, which is why you keep getting punked. Choco is the smarter version of you, if anything. I don't even think y'all act alike at all. You still got the same wig on from the first episode. At least Choco done switched it up a couple of times. Y'all are not the same. So Choco hops in the confessional to talk about the previous night's fight with DTB, and she hopped in her confessional looking like a true baddie. I'm in love with Choco's hair this week. She really put it on this week, from the hair to the makeup, which low-key looks like the same makeup look from a few episodes ago. And her top is so tribal and bold. I'm in love with it. She is serving African queen vibes, and I really love that for her. So now it's time for Kay Rican, K, TAVI, and Marissa Dene. Finally, they're able to get a chance to ride the horses, and all you see is bugs flying around, and they all look irritated and aggravated. Even the horses look aggravated. They couldn't wait for the day to be over. But Fauna finally arrives to the horseback riding activity, and literally the sun is about to go down. And Fauna looked like she straight up came to fight. The hair is slicked back, no makeup, tennis shoes, t-shirt, shorts. She is not here to play. She's there to fight. So Rolly says, say how you feel, Fauna, because Natalie asks her, is she good? Like, what's wrong with her? And Fauna looks at Rolly like she couldn't wait for somebody to bring it up and reassuring her like, oh, I am, trust me. So she get to addressing Natalie because that's who her energy was about. She don't like how Natalie was online popping it with Summer on live, and she's supposed to be the CEO. Natalie wanted Summer to ride with her because the crew originally wanted Summer on the bus with the ops, but Natalie decided she wanted Summer in the car with her, and that's how they ended up on live. Summer was popping it, and she felt like, oh, I'm gonna go live so nobody thinks that I'm talking about them. But if you think about that, nobody would have known that Summer was popping it had you not went live. So for you to think that that was a way to avoid people from thinking that you were popping about them, you shouldn't have even went live to begin with, because you gave them something. They wouldn't have thought nothing if they didn't hear what was said. So as the horseback activity is coming to an end, Summer sees Choco rushing at Elsie and she's like, what y'all over here yapping about? They get to talking about the fights and Dolly said that she told Big Lex she should throw horse poop at the other girls and Summer acting like she want to volunteer to do it, and I'm thinking to myself, that's trifling. But Summer goes on to say her hand is really swole and she can barely ball her fist up. So they continue to talk about it. Then Elsie asks the big three how they feel about Ivory leaving and they glad she left for multiple reasons. And Dolly feel like she gave Ivory a storyline. They flash back to the scene with Natalie and Fauna and Nat fighting for her life. Now DTB done inserted herself in on the confrontation with Fauna and Natalie. DTB don't like how Natalie let Summer rant on her live about what she thought about them for 10 minutes. They get to playing the live stream from last night, and I really don't think it's that deep. If anything, she should have just cut the live off altogether. You trying to mute it and say stop, stop, stop. You knew what you were doing, but I still don't think Natalie's statement were direct enough for DTB to be this mad at her. Now Natalie and DTB argument starts to escalate, and Natalie starts to pop it in her Ed Hardy shirt. I didn't even know people still wore Ed Hardy anymore. Scotty hops in her confessional to say that she understands both sides and that Natalie gives mixy, but also trying to get to know the other girls and hanging around multiple people because she's the CEO. And now DTB is really mad at Natalie, and I feel like this is some built up animosity behind it because it couldn't have been just about the live. She talking about I don't like you and you don't like me. She walks off and the big three walks up because they hear all the commotion going on. Fauna hops into her confessional to say that all she could think about was Summer throwing that drink on her at the club, and she irritated, so she said she needed that and steals off on Summer as she's talking. And that's where the episode ends. Now, I don't really get into the previews. I like to save my thoughts for the next week's episode, but it definitely looks like another brawl. So y'all, that's all I got for y'all this week. Sorry if I don't get this video up in time. I appreciate y'all for watching this far. Let me know what y'all think of the Baddie Confessional Pyramid. We clocked them, we critiqued them, and we kept it real. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch y'all next time, Baddies fam.
Shorty bad, she real bad, yeah, make up real, yeah, yeah.